This is a reading from Muscle and a Shovel by Michael Shank, and it is a reading from chapter 8. It's titled Enough to Make a Guy Cuss, and the subtitle is Christmas Closing In. We went to our Baptist church the following Sunday. It was filled with the ETC, Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, Christians. You know the Christians that only go to church 3 times a year? We could barely find a seat. We waited after services for what seemed like an hour until everyone filed out and we could get some alone time with the pastor. Reverend, we've got a quick question, I said respectfully. He took us back to his spacious, finely decorated office and sat down in his large leather executive chair. Yes, what can I help you with? I realized that he didn't remember our names. When and where did the Baptist church begin? The good Reverend leaned back in his extravagant chair and scratched his balding head. Well, it's my opinion that John the Baptist started the Baptist church, he responded in a condescending tone that conveyed an unspoken message. It told me I was stupid for wasting his precious time with such a rudimentary and trivial question. Even though I did not appreciate his tone, the premise made sense. We were, of course, Baptist, duh. However, I remembered how Randall backed everything he said with the Bible, so I asked, could you help me find that in the Bible? Look at Matthew 3, and I hope y'all will come back tonight. He gave a smile and then spun around to face the paperwork on his desk, which was evidently much more important than 2 young parishioners whose names he could not remember. Janetta and I looked at each other. Apparently our meeting was over. What a pompous blank, I quipped as we walked down the wide, newly carpeted aisles of the contemporary church building. My attitude did not reflect good morality. I needed a lot of work. Honey, he's just busy, Janetta said forgivingly. Yeah, and just think, I said. That guy lives off our donations while he parks his fat blank in that fancy chair that we pay for, mind you, but he doesn't have the time to open his Bible when confronted with an honest Bible question? Janetta frowned while trying to quiet me down. People were still milling around the building. She was not successful. What'd you write that offering check for this morning? I asked as we walked faster through the lavish hallways towards an exit. $90? I bet he'll take the time to count out those $90. What you bet? Michael, Janetta exclaimed, but it was no use. Thoughts started flashing through my mind. Churches were becoming all about the money, with their multi-million-dollar worship facilities, family recreation life centers, gymnasium with indoor walking tracks, high-tech lighting for entertainment, and sound systems more expensive than Michael Jackson's. Those churches seemed to be replacing Bible content for bigger buildings and better entertainment. Why? To draw bigger crowds, of course. Bigger crowds means bigger donations. Bigger donations means bigger paychecks and better lifestyles for the leadership of those churches. It was becoming apparent that churches were not immune to materialism, greed, or covetousness. Wasn't a big, lavish, expensive church building a display of unchristian opulence? Weren't bigger church buildings designed to appeal to the lust of the eye and to impress those with money? Weren't they designed to lure people? Money. It was becoming all about the money. TV preachers were raking in millions from little old ladies living on fixed poverty level incomes while they lived the lifestyles of sheiks, living on money given to them under the guise of giving to God. Don't get me wrong, I loved free enterprise, capitalism, and profit. We lived in the greatest country on the planet, on the greatest planet in the universe. However, greed, materialism, and the gospel of money in the church did not jive with me. To top it off, Arrogant pastors who lived large from the donations of the church disgusted me. Hey, if a guy wants to make the big bucks in the land of the free and the home of the brave, then by all means he should knock himself out trying. The private sector is the place for him, and the free enterprise system is the perfect financial vehicle. Nevertheless, preachers, pastors, and evangelists who lived upscale, materialistic, six-figure lifestyles created and maintained by donations, were a sickening and vile breed whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, whose glory is their shame, and whose minds are on earthly things. The Bible says, through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. 2 Peter 2:3. Hey, Mr. Rolex wearing, Mercedes driving, slick talking pastor, you won't make merchandise of me any longer. These were the thoughts rambling through my head as we walked towards the exit of the church building. I knew that most pastors were not in the ministry for money. However, those pastors that lived large from the donations put a bad taste in my mouth. When Janetta and I reached the heavy glass exit doors, I said, "But hey, there's a lot of other Baptist churches in Nashville." I had to fight Randall with Bible knowledge, and maybe Matthew 3 was the place to start.